Hello. So, here I am sitting here in my fancy smancy P&O cruise line dressing gown, like trying to talk about independence, right? And how dare I sit here and talk about independence from the European Union? First of all, let me clarify one thing. Right? A lot of people have been talking about we're leaving Europe. No, what we have actually done as of 2300 hours UK time is left the European Union. Right? This is something that has been getting talked about since Theresa May first brought it up and now initiated Article 50 and all this mumbo jumbo 3.5, 4 years ago. So as of the 31st of January 2020 at 2300 hours. Apparently, we have officially left the EU. However, this is now our transitional period from here on out where things start to change, actually finally start to change, and deals or no deals or whatever are going on. Just one small technicality, right? Apparently, during the war between England and Scotland, a lot of land was handed over to Scotland, and Doncaster is one of the areas of land that was handed over to Scotland. Apparently, technicality, right? Doncaster was never actually handed back to England. So, if Scotland had gained their independence from the UK, Doncaster could have actually basically built a wall around the entire town and put Scottish flags up. I'm a quarter Scottish, so I would have been very proud to actually have been independent from England as someone who is a quarter Scottish and has had Scottish grandparents and stuff, right? Which is something that I will be able to discuss a little bit more when I've done more research in regards to Scotland and Doncaster and the wars that happened whereby the land was handed over to Scotland and never returned. But this is talking about the fact that apparently now we have left the European Union, so we are now going to be under our own individual UK laws, which, yes, does actually still include Scotland. We are actually England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland, right? So the backstop and all that stuff is all going to be presumably having gotten sorted out, but it has been a huge mess for the last 3.5, 4 years of what initially happened is the question that we were asked is did we want to leave or remain as part of the European Union? But nobody, not the Conservatives or Labour or Liberal Democrats or the DUP, any Scottish parties, all of that, right? Nobody seems to have actually explained what leaving actually meant. So now that we've actually officially come out of the European Union, considering it is now the 1st of February 2020 and it's 1 minute past 1 in the morning, we've basically been out of the European Union for 2 hours now. Obviously, because it's the early hours of the morning, right? We're not actually going to start seeing any of the changes that are going on. But obviously, people that have a television and that, and people that have used the internet are going to be able to see what's going to happen, what Boris Johnson is going to be doing in regards to going to Brussels and talking to them about what is going to happen with trade routes and all of that. But on a personal level, obviously, as it's going to be a period of time, there still shouldn't be any issue in regards to those of us that are going on cruises and things like that that may be going either to EU countries or to non-EU countries. I mean, obviously over time there's going to be changes happening. So by 2021, right, we'll basically be under whatever UK laws come up. So we won't be under the EU's laws anymore. So all of that is going to have changed. Personally speaking, what I want to say is I have friends that aren't originally from England that live in various parts of the United Kingdom, right? And I will fight for their right to be recognised as a citizen, as far as I am personally concerned, right? People that have lived here and grown up here, right, and put in taxes to this country and have been, right, have the right to be recognised as a citizen, and you can come and you can fight me on this, right? I will stand beside those people and fight to have them accepted as as the UK citizens that have come into this country, right? I was born in 1980, nearly 40 years ago. It's actually 40 years ago this year, and all I have ever known is being inside the European Union. That had the benefits of any money that was like EU funding for training and things like that. But from what I understand, the money that was given back to us by the European Union was money that was being paid from us anyway. So they were basically sending back our own money as funding for people to be able to be trained at training centres such as the YMCA training, Ways to Work, Reads, all of that got EU funding. So when we were trained and got all these certificates, what we had in college courses and things like that, that would get funding. So all of that kind of thing now is going to change. So any funding that we get is basically all UK funding. So I don't know what's happening in regards with, because I don't have the television and I haven't been looking in depth into it at the moment, because as I said, it's like gone 1 o'clock in the morning. But like, all of this funding is now going to be UK only funding, but I don't know whether or not we're supposed to still be paying the European Union in Brussels for having wanted to leave. But all of this information should have actually been given to us as UK citizens, right? Which includes the people that came to this country that I actually consider to be UK citizens, even if other people don't, right? We all have the right to know exactly what coming out of the European Union meant, and none of us have been given that information. All they kept doing is going on about Brexit, 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 but what did Brexit actually mean? So now that we're out of this, obviously I'm going to have a somewhat vlog slash journalistic information on things like this. This is going on the lines of other recent videos that I've had up. That is some kind of investigation into certain things. Right? I don't claim to be any kind of professional journalist. Here I am sitting in front of my picture of Harley Quinn and my acrylic paintings that I've done, talking to you about things that I hadn't done any research on. But as I said, right, born in 1980, so spent the last 40 years of my life, right, being part of the European Union, having all this cushy funding coming in for me to get the training that I've got so that I could have done my level 1 in business administration and going back and forward to college. I've got a qualification in peer mentoring, I've got a qualification in cleaning. Yes, you need a qualification in cleaning now, which is basically common sense. Don't mix chemical A with chemical B, make sure you use the right colour cloths for the right areas and the right colour bags and all that stuff. But it is going to be a learning experience for all of us in the United Kingdom, Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland and England as to what's actually going to happen now, because it's going to be a huge upheaval. The UK is the first country that I know of that has left the European Union. We are basically a benchmark for any other countries now that are thinking about leaving the European Union as to what that will actually entail, what money needs to go back and forward, trade routes, and all of that. So I am glad to have represented people that did initially want to remain in the EU, but that was only because it's all I've ever known. I have been very vocal about the fact that now I've just wanted to get out of the EU just so that I can see what life is going to be like post European Union, what laws and stuff are going to come into place that are UK only laws, and all of that. So let's all watch this space as to what's going to happen. Obviously, there have been fireworks that were let off at 2300 hours today to celebrate, Personally, I don't think there's anything to celebrate yet. People are being a preemptive with the celebrations. They don't know the pros and cons of it being out of the EU. I don't, they don't. So I think it's a little bit soon to be celebrating all of this. I think people need to act with caution. As I've been informed recently, actions have consequences. And the consequences of coming out of the EU is that it may not necessarily be a good thing. In some circumstances, I'm sure it will be, but in other circumstances, it possibly won't be. And we all need to just work with caution now. Anyway, I'm going to go, and I hope that you continue to subscribe. I noticed that my subscriber count has gone down recently to 125, so but if it continues to go further down, I'm changing up some of my content to include more discussions such as this, because I think it's good for us to have discussions in regards to this kind of thing and investigate things like this and the impact that it's going to have on us personally and like nationally. So thank you for watching. Please continue to like, share, comment and subscribe, most importantly, because it does all help with the algorithm, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.